Happy Empowered Wednesday. Hello, friends. Nice to see you again. Welcome to another episode of Mindful Entrepreneur Talks, where we talk about how to bring a better balance and better harmony into our lives and into our business. Sometimes we may share a business strategy to help you reduce the overwhelm and bring more balance. And often we talk about those tangible, practical tools and practices that we do every day to actually help elevate the overwhelm that sometimes it comes with running a business. So really the goal here is how can we be more mindful in what we're doing in life and business to have more balance? Because I think at the end, this is what we are all striving for. So hello for those of you who are joining us. And we have a very special guest today. My wonderful husband, Dave Kvesic, is joining us, and we will pick his brain when it comes to mindfulness. So I'm just waiting for him, and just for fun. No, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to let him in. So he should be very shortly joining us. Oh, there he is. Wow. And I don't know if you guys noticed. Hello. He is sporting a new haircut. So I hope you guys can be really nice in the comments and let him know. I think it's a little funky today. So hello, honey.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
I only got a haircut because you nicely suggested I needed a haircut. So that's why I went and got
one. And you know what? He actually listens because he knows when I know when is that there is a moment where you can get away with, not having a haircut. And unless you want to look like one of our son who is sporting a very long hair. I think his length is actually longer than mine. And it's like more of a Tarzan look, but those days are over for you. You look great when it's so nice to just freshly cut. So hello everyone who's joining us today. So why don't you tell us who you are, because I know you're my partner in good things and all the things life and business, but why don't you introduce yourself and tell us how do you bring more balance?
Perfect. So first, who am I? So I'm the other half of Isabella and Blue Water. And you don't see me as much because Isabella is far more engaging on social and with everything that she does. So I'm quietly in the background, typically working with male founders and business leaders, doing the same thing Isabella does, maybe with a little bit of a different flavor. So I'm part of Blue Water, and my focus is on leadership and sales and team dynamics, typically on the executive coaching and life side, as well as the business coaching side. So at that intersection is where I typically exist. And I'm most famous for being Isabella's husband.
No, I think you're most famous for being that amazing leadership executive coach and actually a sales guru. And I definitely have learned a ton from you. And it's all good things. It's all good things. Minus maybe the lack of patience sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So I know you well, but maybe some of the audience here today doesn't. So tell us, what do you, because, we both lead very busy lives. We have 3 kids, and we still want to have time to do our own personal hobby, because I believe having time and space to do things that you love, and sometimes it's not the same thing what your partner loves. So how do you bring more balance and mindfulness to every day?
Ooh, so it's personal. So it's the same thing that I bring to the male founders that I work with, to be honest. So I'm just petting Bruno here because he's about to bark, our dog. So if I don't do that, he's gonna start
I
howling.
know
So we're gonna do that.
he gets jealous
Yeah.
when we are on Zoom or
Yeah. So, but before I go into that, I'm just going to point out that, like, if a lot of you don't know me, but like Isabella, I have a similar kind of journey to hers of kind of moving away from the corporate hamster wheel a little bit, and the life circulating around driving to and back from Toronto all the time, and doing all the corporate stuff that you do, and kind of putting family second, unfortunately. So I'm the same as her. We sort of bailed on all of that, and started doing what we wanted to do and what we love to do, and that was to work with uh, professionals and entrepreneurs to help them live their purpose and do what they do best and be successful, but do it with soul, and to lead with heart, and yes, and to be mindful. So that's where I started from, and Isabella has had a huge massive influence on me for all of that, nudging me in the right direction with all of that. But that's, yeah, of course. So that's a whole other conversation. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. And then for me, mindfulness is exactly that. So you got to know why you do what you do and what's important to you. And for me, it's my family. I get emotional about it, like talking about it.
I know.
So everything that we do is for our family, and my wife and my kids, and making sure that they're healthy and happy. So anyway, so that's what mindfulness is for me, and I've designed my life around that. So as crazy as it sounds, like, I've designed my life so that my morning routine is, in addition to getting up and running around like a crazy man, getting kids ready for school with Isabella, and part of that is, for Isabella, I make coffee. I grind the beans, and it's a ritual of coffee making, which sounds ridiculous, but it's part of our thing. And then I deliver the coffee, and we drink lots of coffee together, and we talk, and we wake up the kids, get them going, and then I drive them to school. And for me, that's one of the most important things that I can do. Bruno, come here. Because that's how we set up their day properly, so that we put them in the right frame of mind, that anything is possible. So, so that it starts with that, and then making sure that we're living our life, making sure that the kids are. Can you hear me? Okay, Bruno. Jeez. So making sure that the kids are happy, and then of course I'm gonna just go for a stroll outside here. Hold on one second. And then, of course, after that, and after we've done all of that, we make sure that our clients are happy. But we prioritize, for us, our why is around our life, our family, our kids, and Isabella, and everything falls into place after that. And it works great because we make time for everything that matters, starting with the most important things first. So that was a long-winded, kind of silly, emotional guy thing, but hopefully you got the gist of that.
See, ladies, even guys can get emotional. You know how sometimes I get emotional on these, because at the end of it, it's why are we all doing what we're doing, right? There is that deep, deep reason. And if you haven't found that reason, you know what to do. Call me. I'll help you find that reason. But once you are anchored in that purpose and why you do what you do, things are just simple. The decisions are simple. Where you say yes to, or what you say yes to, what you say no to, it's so easy. Life then goes just nice and like water. It pivots towards those right decisions, right? Because sometimes, we all have made some questionable decisions in the past, but once you really get deeper on that purpose level, I think things do get simpler. And thank you for that morning coffee. How much I appreciate it. But I also know you take your own time when you go to the gym, and it's regularly, and that helps you elevate any stress, any anxiety. So Yeah, tell us. And I know there is a cooking component to your mindfulness. So
Oh,
tell us about
okay.
that.
So you're gonna prompt me on this. So again, but this comes back to why I do what I do. So I love to cook. Isabel's a great cook. She doesn't get to cook much in the house,
I
which
know.
I actually really
I'm
enjoy.
lucky.
Yeah,
I know that.
yeah,
Everybody out there listening, I'm like, I know. I
yeah.
cook on weekends sometimes.
Yeah. So I like to cook, but now why do I do that? Because it gives me profound satisfaction nourishing my family. I got to tell you, like I take shopping very seriously for really good, great food. And when my kids take like 30 seconds to gobble it down, that 30 seconds is the happiest time of my life. Like I love knowing that they're getting stronger and eating great stuff. So it's a primal, can't even explain it, but it's a primal satisfaction that I have. And then, Isabel, you mentioned about, yeah, the gym. All right, so the gym. But specifically, I go to an MMA gym in Burlington. And the reason I started doing that is I was taking my kids there. So my kids were doing like jujitsu and boxing and kick and all that stuff. And getting strong and healthy and mentally resilient, and I feed off that. Like I watch that, I'm like, damn, like that is the best feeling in the world. And then I started joining them. So yeah, it's for me, but I kill two birds with one stone. And Isabella, you say it's like collapsing time or folding time, so you're making more time. So I don't go to the gym on my own. I take my kids, they do their session, get strong, and I take my time while they're doing their class, and I'm getting strong, and it's the best feeling in the world. When you start, for the men out there, you know it. Like if you go to the gym and you start rocking some serious muscle, and you've got a swagger in your step because you actually know you're strong, mentally you get better,
Yeah.
right? So that's, yes, that's my personal time, but I'm able to cover off my developing of my kids and happiness for my kids at the same time, and that's the best of both worlds when you can kind of double it up. And I'll say, and that's what I do, sure, but that's for anybody listening to this. Try and find that in yourself as well. Like, where can you collapse time and double up and find a double win, kill two birds with one stone? And the same thing is, like, I spend a lot of time in the outdoors. Like I'm kind of like an outdoorsy guy with the hunting and fishing and all that sort of stuff. And my kids join me with that, and that is that's a great feeling when you see your kids stomping through the woods and like shooting a bow or target shooting or maybe even catching a bunny or something like that. And you see that glow in their eyes, and you know that you've set them up for something much bigger for when you're gone. Those skills and those experiences live on.
Yeah.
So all to say, that's deeply satisfying. So I know my why. And now from the business side, people might be listening to this, oh well, but yeah, that's great, but what about the business? Like, I want to go make some money and be hugely successful and all that. The dirty secret of this is the business we're in. We work with like high performance people, whether typically founders, but they could be sales professionals with their own book of business inside an organization. But these are people that actually get crap done. They go out there. And what happens is when you start living like this authentically, honestly, doing what the hell you want and feels good for you and your family, you attract those people. So, so typically what happens is like somebody might be thinking, oh, I need a personal coach or executive coach to up my game personally, or I need to up my business around sales or profit or customer retention or staff loyalty, whatever it is, the hard metric stuff. So they start talking to coaches. And that's great. Like, go talk 3, 4 coaches and see who, number one, is sort of an expert in that space. But the main thing is, who do I resonate with that I feel comfortable with? And what happens is the people that I attract, they don't, like, I win that business every time. Not to be cocky about it, but they know what I'm saying is real, and what I advocate for them personally is real, and it either works or it doesn't, right? And the people that are trying to like live in that way and show up in that way authentically and be high performance, but know mindfully what they're all about. I love working with those people, and they love working with me. So the business is tied to that. The success and the money and all that stuff will follow you living a life on purpose and living authentically, doing what you want. like even driving your kids to school and feeling good about that.
Yeah. No, and thank you so much for sharing. Because, as you know, yesterday I had an honor to be a speaker and facilitating a purpose driven success framework to businesses in Niagara. And the common theme is when we went around the room and we shared our values and our purpose, we were all very similar. And that's like this big insight is once you get very clear what is your purpose, what is your mission, and you reconnect with that purpose in your business, you are elevating your energy, you are reminded of the values, and you start to not only seek anymore, but you start attracting like-minded people that doing business just gets so much easier, right? You're in the flow. And yeah, we were sharing all about that yesterday, and everyone was like, oh my God, yeah, we were all so similar. And then you're finally find you have so many common topics to talk about. It's like, oh yeah, I love gardening too, oh my goodness. Or we talked about bringing our paddle boards or kayaks in the morning to start bringing that mindfulness aspect to our life, to bring joy, because sometimes we forget about the things that we as children loved. And sometimes not sometimes, every day we do our morning routine, and sometimes you will find me and there is a little park where I'll quickly run and I'll start to swing on the swing for a few seconds. And swinging was always embedded through my childhood and it made me happy. But only once I did the exercise to find out what were those things that used to make me so happy. And we're not talking big things. It's like, hello, right? Like you go in the woods and you just walk around and it's like that meditation in the in the forest, right? Nowadays people call it forest bathing, but for you it's like, I'm just gonna go observe and look at some animals and maybe I'll catch something, maybe not, but it's not that. It's like being in nature makes you happy. It's like me being in the park and right when we go fishing. So we just really wanted to introduce this topic. And once you really are aligned with your heart and your purpose and your values, and you bring those mindfulness practices, whatever they are for you, I think life gets easier. Running a business gets easier. So thank you very much for sharing. And I know we have only 2 more minutes because, as you know, I'm running the
I know.
Amplify Your Authentic Brand program at noon.
So just one more thing, because I know you have to go, and I know you've got your group that you're running your program with. The one thing I just want to point out, the whole, in the spirit of the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus sort of thing, how men and women think differently. When you bring up the topic of mindfulness and manifesting things and that kind of thing, what I found with the guys that I work with, uh, I start with mindfulness and kind of centering yourself, being in a blue water state, we call it, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But getting people kind of flat and calm and centered before they can truly launch. I don't actually use the words mindfulness in with my audience, although what we're doing is the exact same thing, Isabella. It's completely different with men because we're from Mars, so we tend to talk less and label less, but we feel just as much. So the first thing I do when I'm working with someone that's trying to up their game personally and professionally is, okay, first off, how do you center yourself? How do you talk? Unfortunately, we talk about talking yourself down off the cliff because men take a lot on and internalize a lot, and we often don't talk about it. So how do we get centered? And then I talk about mindfulness tactics. I just don't label them like that, but I use what you taught me with my guys to put them in a blue water state so that they can think about the good things and relax. And whether that's being outside and hugging a tree or playing hockey or playing with your kids or whatever it is, right? Or doing a little manifestation and meditation and that kind of thing. We just don't talk about it the same. So for the men out there, I feel you, and I don't often use the same words that Isabella uses or maybe her audience uses, but it works. Being mindful and knowing why you do what you do and being emotional about it sometimes is totally okay, because high performance starts from that.
Thank you.
I'll be quiet
Thank
now
you.
because I know you got to go soon.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing, because it is so true. It's like, yeah, we should rebrand. No, we're not going to rebrand it, but it's like that blue water state. And sometimes people just need to use different words to, at the end of the day, we want you to have those results. We want you to bring more balance, to live fulfilled life, and really create a life and businesses, whether it's you're working for someone else and you're in a leadership role, or you're running a sales team, or you're running your business. We want you to succeed, and success looks different for different people. But at the end of it, at the core of it, like if you even look at the Maslow's hierarchy, right? It's about all of us belonging and feeling loved and feeling recognized, feeling fulfilled. So it's not just about chasing those crazy goals. Even guys, you know, I like the goals, but goals are only there to really, it's like, it's, someone said it beautifully, goals are dreams with deadlines, because then you can attach actions towards achieving those goals, and that's how dreams come
Yeah.
true. And you, at the end of it, can live fulfilled life. So thank you very much for joining me today, and listening to Dave and seeing him. We did not plan this. I didn't know he was completely going to crack down and get emotional.
No,
I
no,
feel like Barbara
I don't crack
Walters.
down. That's not what happened. No, I don't
I
crack.
know, I know, I
Yeah.
know. No, they were able to see your emotional side, where sometimes people see just like, the toughness, right? But it's yeah, we're at the end of it, we all are humans, and we all are emotional beings, and we have feelings. So it's beautiful that that came out. Thank you so much for everyone, for you for being here, honey, and for all of you joining us today. And whether if you weren't able to see us live, I know you have busy lives. I hope you get to watch this and maybe learn a thing or two to bring more balance. And we'll see you next week for 11.
But I know you got to. But and if anyone wants to get unstuck personally, with their own kind of their personal brand or their professional and their business, book a discovery call. We'll talk about it. In particular with this woman, because she's straight fire and absolutely the best woman that I
Or
know.
this
So
man. All right.
sure,
Okay. Now we got
yeah.
to go.
All right, you got
Okay.
to go.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you.